Okay, so I'm here today talking with Sophia Solanki, the founder of Narrato. Hi, Sophia. Lovely to speak with you today. Would you like to give us an intro? Tell us a bit about yourself and a little bit about Narrato, what it is and what it does.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Thank you for talking to me. And so I've been in the marketing space for a while now. So have close to about 16 plus years of experience. Started as a business consultant for about 4 years, where I was doing projects around how to optimize Google Ads. And that was like 15 years ago, very different from what it is now. But since then, I started my entrepreneurial journey. First, a content marketing agency, built a social media product later. And now I'm running the marathon of Narrato, where I want to build a single platform where content marketers, content creators can come together, create content that wins, that performs. And the whole idea behind building this platform is to have one place where everything starting from ideation, planning, creation, content optimization to even publishing happens at the same place. You know, and I know it's a big vision, but we have worked with like a ton of clients through our journey, and we've seen ourselves as an agency that currently this work happens on a very distributed stack. You start with Google Docs, you add sheets, sometimes a few project management tools, and then some optimization tools. And it's just becomes so unproductive at the end of the day that you feel lost. So we thought there's a need gap, and there's something that we need to build such that teams can be more effective.
Amazing. So you're essentially building or providing a tool that operates throughout the entire workflow of the content planning, scheduling, production, and publishing process. Effectively, it sounds like, from what you just said, it sounds like that Narrato can replace, say, 5 or 6 tools that your traditional content marketers are using throughout this process. So like you said, it sounds like a big challenge, but it sounds like you've got a lot of experience throughout that workflow and a lot of ideas to support and make that easier for people to manage this kind of workflow in one tool.
Yeah, so that's sort of the idea. So there are 2 ways we're looking at it. One, we want to get people to do more and more on Narrato. So if not 100%, we want to be the place where 80% of all your content work, collaboration happens. But if you're deep-seated into some platforms and really like, and they talk to us through either integrations or something else, then we are basically supporting that as well. And processes can be hard, and we want to make sure that content teams are best supported. But the fragmentation of tools does affect a lot of productivity, and that's what we're trying to surpass. Second thing that we're trying to do is also offer cool tools, like we're building an AI content assistant, which has a lot of parts to it, not just helps you with GPT-3 based writing, which a lot of tools do, but it also goes beyond and gives you recommendations on how better to optimize for SEO, what to answer, what people are really wanting to hear about, gives you recommendations around content structure and a lot more. So it's also the place where you can come and do a lot of this together rather than through like 5 different tools.
Yes. Okay. I really like this kind of value proposition of increasing efficiency by having one place to manage all of these different, because there are a lot of different tasks that need to be done throughout that process. And I think if you're not working in content marketing regularly, you can underestimate this. So, I know even when we set up ours that there's so many different tools that we were using, and now we're obviously using Narrato, and I can see how this is going to help us. So it's the efficiency in that workflow, optimizing that I think is a real benefit. You have teams that are producing lots of content though, right? So I remember speaking with you, and I think you were saying that there are teams producing hundreds of posts in a month. So yeah. How do you think the tool really benefits this kind of team whose production of content is extremely high?
Yeah. So for them, there are lots of different aspects where, Narrato becomes super, super powerful. Like in one of the cases, there's a consumer tech company which was building hundreds of pieces of content to, target more and more of these long search words. And now for them, the biggest bottleneck was actually publishing it to their CMS. And every piece of content they had to publish was taking them 30 to 40 minutes. So what Narrato helped them do was they used our API, they built a quick integration, and we helped them out, supported through the process. And now that whole thing gets done by, change of a task status. So they're saving like close to about 200, 300 man hours every month. So it was huge.
Yeah.
And so for them, the big thing was publishing. For another team who's doing the same, and they are in the health tech space, they're creating hundreds of pieces of content and dealing with a lot of writers. And they like working with freelance writers because that gives them more control over, the right people for the right content. And just managing a team of 20 writers was getting very, very difficult. So they tried to do it through Airtable, and then they figured, Narrato could give them a lot of benefits. So they're using the whole assignment of tasks, everything happens on our platform. For them, I think that was a big win. So there are lots of these areas in which we've seen teams find efficiency and then able to scale up their processes. But there has been even cases where there's an agency who's serving like close to 50 to 60 clients, doing thousands of pieces of content every month, who have managed everything on the platform. And there are these bulk actions and automations that you could set up. It just makes things run like a very, very smooth engine. So yeah, Narrato can actually, just give you that efficiency kick in a lot of different areas.
Sounds fantastic. Yeah, because obviously these teams are planning their content and they're writing the content in Narrato, but that part you mentioned of the publishing. So usually, or typically, I think writers could be writing in Google Docs, and then when it comes to publishing, they're copying their content and putting it into WordPress or whatever their CMS platform is. And I can see how time consuming that process is. So for them speeding up this publishing, just publishing directly, integrating with the CMS and publishing directly from the content they've written in Narrato, that sounds like a really great benefit. It sounds like you have a lot of great features, and you come from this background in content marketing as well. So I can see how through your own insight and your own experience, you've been able to kind of envision this product, a great product that manages the entire workflow. How have you managed innovation when you've been thinking about Narrato and building your product? How have you approached innovation in order to build a product that has some differentiation within a competitive marketplace?
Yeah. So I think the way we approach innovation is that everything should be customer driven. So we talk a lot to our users. So we walk into conversations after conversations. So we don't want to be different for the sake of being different. So if it's the case that our competitor does something a certain way and that's working for our clients, and we need to do something similar on our platform, we're not averse to the idea. And we do sometimes adopt some of those workflows, processes, or ways of doing things. But most of how we want to look, feel, comes from our users, and which is why I think it's for us a deep focus area that we need to be very intuitive. We want to make sure what we're building is prioritized to what our users need the most, and that's how we work. So even ideas in terms of how the features should work, what's important, not important, what we should be building, often comes from a lot of these user conversations that we track, we record, we basically hear through and work. So I think I think all your ideas when it comes to innovation, at least our philosophy has been, it comes from people who use the product, and you should be just listening to your customers and your market.
Great. Okay, I like it. So you're always evolving based on what you're observing through your users and how they're using the platform and what they need. I noticed that you have a marketplace as well. Could you tell us a little bit about the marketplace and how that works in the ecosystem with your product?
Right. So we actually started out as a marketplace initially. So back in the 2020, that's the first product or application we put out. And we saw a lot of users using it. And then we again started thinking about this whole workflow of what happens beyond it. And then we realized, that there were lots of these pieces that were still missing. And that's when and being an engineer and having built another product, it's so much more enjoyable to build a software. So we decided to build Narrato as well. But right now, how the two systems talk to each other is that there is a shallow integration that we've built. So there's a workflow that happens in the marketplace, which helps you. And the marketplace does automatic creator matching, and it's all automated. So we don't have any manual editorial processes there. We wanted it to be like a product. It works. Once the work gets done, then teams can actually move their work onto their workspace and do all the internal management there. So that's how the two applications at the moment are talking to each other. But in the future, we do envision, we hear from a lot of our customers that they do want a deeper interface between the two, where while using the software, they're able to also leverage the marketplace through it. So basically, that's what we're envisioning for the future, probably a deeper integration between the two. And as far as running a software business plus a marketplace business goes, I think at the end of the day, for us, it's just the product. Even the marketplace for us is a product. So the idea really is to enable content teams to be able to do more, faster, better, and to be able to win with what they are doing with their content marketing processes. And it just feels like a content marketplace is basically a very important thing, because the need for creators is just as big as the need for bringing efficiency to the process.
I see. So the marketplace is essentially services that potentially, well, in the future, that Narrato users could also benefit from if they're looking for freelance writing support or so and so. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so we have a lot of common users right now. So there are users who are basically ordering a lot of content in the marketplace, getting the work done, and then basically adding it to their workspace through a click, and then processing it on the software. So, and then we have users who started with the workspace, and they realize, the team doesn't have sufficient bandwidth to do what they require to get done. So they're getting additional bandwidth out of the marketplace. So while marketplace is a supplementary service, but we've seen it's very, very synergistic with our primary offering.
Great, I see. It looks like they're really complementary together. And then I was interested in how you funded the business in terms of building the product. Did you bootstrap so far, using potentially the marketplace as a source of capital or revenue to build the product?
So we bootstrapped early on, and I was running an agency business also earlier, which I no longer do. So some of the funds came out from there as well. But we have some good news on the horizon as well, where we are getting some partners on board. So there will be some external funding that's flowing into Narrato. So it's going to be now a mix of our own funds plus some investment partners to basically push our journey through.
Great. What kind of round are you raising? Would you consider it a seed round or angel funding?
It's a seed round.
Yeah, a seed round supplemented by your kind of bootstrapping revenue.
Wherever we have, got support with bootstrapping. Yeah.
Great. And Sophia, what are your plans for Narrato with the future? How will you use the funding, and what are your plans for the business and the product going forward?
So I think we've built a solid core product right now. Our next priorities is one, to actually get it to a level where we think, one, it is a very solid brand. Second, it's a place where people can come get started. So UI, the user experience is a big area of focus for us. So that's number one. Second is we're going to continue expanding scope in terms of what more users can do at the beginning of their journey, at the end of their journey, which is at the end of their journey, which is all about publishing, pushing the content to the right place. So a lot of integrations and what all we can support. At the beginning of the journey is planning, which is like starting all the way from research, etc. So we already have some very solid features like SEO content briefs that you can generate, topic and idea generators that exist, but we want to strengthen that capability. And we want to, at one point in time, build a very neat feedback loop where we will start pulling a lot of your performance data, have insights, and then, give you ideas right at the beginning of your journey to create more content that works similarly or better. So like I said, we have a big vision. There's a long way to go and there's lots to do, but these are sort of our top 2 to 3 things or priorities for our next leg of work.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like there's lots of improvements and new exciting features to come out, and it sounds like the product's going to continue improving. So I look forward to seeing how that goes. Sophia, thank you for joining me for a chat. For anybody who's interested in checking out Narrato, would you refer them to the website narrato.io to take a free trial or to check out the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody and everyone can go check out Narrato at narrato.io. If you want to reach me personally, just drop me a note at Sophia at narrato.io or ping me on LinkedIn. I'm there on Twitter, not so active, so LinkedIn's probably better, but you're very accessible. Our team loves talking to whoever's interested in what we're building or in the same space and trying to solve problems around content strategy, marketing. So yeah, find us on Narrato or just drop me a note.
Great. Okay. Super stuff. Okay. Thank you, Sophia. Been great to chat with you. Speak with you again sometime soon.
Yeah. Thanks, Peter.